Hey guys, and welcome to the second part of that big old house build we had on the channel. It should have gone up last week and you should be seeing this one now. This is part 2, so if you missed part 1, I should hopefully remember to put the little doodly-doo in the corner. If not, it's in the Sims speed build playlist. But we're building a big old family home. It's a big old blended family home. It's going to turn out really cool. We're finishing the downstairs. We're working in the laundry room here. And then we're going to pop upstairs because none of the upstairs is done at this point in time. You, at the end, will see the screenshots. I believe I did all of the screenshots, so there'll be some repeats for the last video and then all of the new ones so that you can get sort of the cohesive, the whole cohesive look of the house. But this video is split into 2 parts because there was so much footage and I am not very good at killing my darlings, as they say. I'm not very good at cutting footage out as much as I should be. And there's a point where you speed it up so fast that it gets very like jumpy and skippy and a little bit of maybe a concern for those who struggle with bright flashing lights and stuff, which honestly this video is already probably at that point. And I try to be careful about that. It's also just the way I build too. I jump back and forth or I forget things, or well, very frequently the game I'll log back and it'll be like, yeah, I've moved all of your decor. That happened so much with this build. Consistently lost my decor. I think I did the decor for like the clutter stuff for this house like 3 or 4 times. I'm not even joking. I really struggled. The game just kept taking stuff away. And I really struggled with this hallway too. Side note, this hallway I'm still not like particularly happy with. I don't usually do hallways in my builds if I can help it. And I have like 2 or 3 hallways in this house. But I wanted that open bit to look down into the foyer, and I wanted a lot of different bathrooms and stuff, so it ended up just kind of working out the way it does. It does also give the grandma a nice little like cozy mother-in-law suite situation, almost kind of, which is nice. But yeah, it took the layout of this house is weird. I think this is gonna be a prime one. I bet you a couple months from now I'll be like, I know how to lay out that house better. And I'll come back in and fix it. But I do really like how this one turned out. It's a different style than I usually do, and I tried to make the bedrooms really fit the characters, who should be up on the channel maybe next week. Unclear. I've got to record their voiceover next. But they're a blended family. They're a big old blended family. There's one. I think there's 8 Sims. So let's see, the dad, the mom, the grandma, that's 3. And then the 3 boys, that's 6. And yeah, there's 8 Sims. I really struggled with the color scheme in this room, going back to the build for a minute, and so it changes a lot because I wanted it to look like she downsized and had like her whole big bedroom set and then was trying to like fit in this room and have like a little cozy, almost like studio apartment situation, but not quite. And there's a lot of new, what's the word I'm looking for? Like wood textures, which is really nice, but some of them still just don't quite match. And I really wanted to use this chair. You can see there was a little cut there as I was like trying to, like I flipped with the chair about 100 times. I don't even actually know if I ended up keeping that chair, unclear, but I really like fell in love with the cute little like pillow on that chair and I wanted to use it. Also, just apologies in advance if I sound a little raspy today, unfortunately. Well, actually, fortunately, I love spring, but we are in the midst of very early spring, and the weather literally just today alone has gone from very cold and windy and wet to very sunshiny and warm, and now we're looking down the barrel of more wintry, wet, gross this evening, possibly a storm, and it has completely, like, affected my head a little bit, and I was gonna wait to record this voiceover, but he's getting a little desperate. I'm running out of things to put on the channel. Because I keep putting off doing voiceovers until I sound halfway decent. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So, apologies in advance on that. But this video is also super long too. It's like 37 minutes, which is huge. And the first one was like 35, which is why I split it into 2. I was like, I'm not gonna put an hour plus video of just Sims build up on the channel. Some people want like that, and if that's what we dig, then I'm willing to change my tune on it. But I always like personally. Because I tend to, like I used to watch Sims videos at work when I worked at a different company and my job was fundamentally different, but I'm actually like a more senior member of a software engineering team now, so I am like constantly answering questions and DMs, and people always like needing help and stuff, so I don't watch like Sim speed builds and stuff at work. I watch them on my break, and so I'm always like, for me, yeah, it's much nicer to have like a little 15-minute video or a little 11-minute video because that works out great. on my breaks or my lunch breaks and stuff, or after work when I'm sitting watching, because I don't live by myself. Obviously, I live with other humans, and there's stuff going on, and I have, responsibilities outside of work. It's nice to be able to just fit a video in, I've gotten addicted to TikTok for that reason. This is fairly new. It's a fairly new thing in my life. See, I am old. I am not one of the youth. I know I'm only 25, but I feel very old when I watch all of these new things coming up. But my friend got me started on TikTok, and I have found that those are very nice because a lot of them are literally 30 seconds, and so I'm I can watch a TikTok or two on my break. That's fine. Although if you're not careful, you go down a rabbit hole and you're still 45 minutes later, and you're how did I watch 45 minutes of this guy making vintage baking recipes? How did that happen? I love his stuff though. It's the creator's name is B. Dylan Hollis, I think. I just found him. He's lovely. I want to try all of his recipes. Well, not all of them. Some of them look really gross, but I digress. Anyways, it stresses me out. Was the point I was making to put huge long videos like this up? Because not only, first of all, do I have to talk through them, which we've established is it's hard for me to stay on track in 11-minute videos. You give me almost 40 minutes to talk, and I'm gonna cover all sorts of things that have nothing to do with the video, now. But it stresses me out because then, if I was the viewer, I'd have to commit to an almost 40-minute video. And I know you can stop them and you can come back to them, but in a Sims build, sometimes it's a little hard. In any video, sometimes it's a little hard because you lose the plot if you're, not paying attention or you're trying to have it on for something else. And where I live, unfortunately, I pretty much watch YouTube primarily on my phone because my internet, if I were to watch something on YouTube on my internet, nobody could do anything else. We have much better internet than we had before, but it's just we don't have the bandwidth for multiple people to be streaming and stuff like that. And so I watch it primarily on my phone, and asking my sad little, my phone is now 7 or 8 years old, asking it to not buffer and die and eat all of its battery through a 40-minute video is a big ask as well. So I always end up trying to do short videos, and long videos stress me out. Maybe one day I'll get brave and post consistently longer videos. I know there's something to do with the algorithm too, but I have yet to be bothered to actually figure out what I should do to make my videos show up on the algorithm. I know you're supposed to play with that, right? You're supposed to be yes, if I do this kind of thing and put this in the header, the title. Oh goodness, been doing a lot of work lately. Put this in the title and everything, then your video shows up better. And I'm yeah, I absolutely should do that, but I'm probably not going to because I just enjoy making whatever I feel like making that day. Which that's why I always tell people I miss I guess it would be I'm trying to think, probably 2010, 2011 YouTube maybe, question mark, because it felt like people were just making whatever the heck they wanted to make, and that was so fun to me. A lot of the creators that I used to watch on YouTube when it was that time period, aren't even on YouTube anymore. They've moved to Twitch or different services because YouTube is very curated now, which is not a bad thing at all, but it's very curated now, and it doesn't feel always, it seems like there's a lot of space for people. I guess if you're trying to make it a career, there's not a lot of space for people to do fun things. You very much have to figure out what the algorithm is doing and make videos according to that. I have a real life 9-to-5 job that I very much like, so I'm not trying to chase the influencer lifestyle or anything like that. I know for some people they're doing it too because it's a way out of a job they hate, and I feel for that. I've been there, I've had jobs I've hated, but I'm pretty lucky. I like my job a lot, and so the idea of I'm gonna be the next, oh no, I need to name someone now who's YouTube famous. Oh no, the next Mia Maples. That's her name. That'll work. That's not that important to me, so I don't care about the algorithm and stuff so much. Although I guess I could actually use the tags and stuff and figure that out. Maybe I'll go through tag videos. I don't know. I just I don't want to ever do something to take the fun out of it. I just enjoy making videos and putting them up, and I love just interacting with you guys when you find me. I get such sweet comments from you guys. I get sweet little feedback comments and sweet little I love your video comments, and the ones where they're oh, I love your kitchen. I ride that high for a while. I love those, and I just don't ever want to get so caught up in the algorithm or anything like that I stop making videos that I enjoy and have fun making. And I have that luxury, and so I'm gonna keep doing that. Was, I think, the point I was originally trying to make. What was the point that I was originally trying to make here? unclear. But I do miss YouTube when a lot of people were having a lot of fun. I used to really dig Minecraft Let's Plays. Minecraft Let's Plays, like, for those of you who are familiar, Nerd Cubed used to do, like, a ton of different kinds of videos. He's starting to get back to it, like his Nerd Cube plays. Loved those, dug those. He still does some of that now. But he does a lot on Twitch and other things, too. But, like, he talks a lot about how the algorithm makes it really hard to do the things that he wants to do, and it's very difficult because when it's your career, you know, that kind of thing. And I miss when people could just do it for fun and get views because there was other like-minded people on the internet who thought that was fun. And I feel like there's a lot of people like me, because anytime I bring that up in, like, a group conversation where I'm like, yeah, I miss the old YouTube when it was weird. The internet in general, I miss when it was weird. A lot of people are with me on that. There's a lot of people who are like, yeah, remember when you could just find, like, a weird site, you know, that had, like, similar interests to you? One of the things I always point out is, like, when BBC Sherlock started, they actually had John's blog, which, for those of you who aren't familiar, in the original books, John Watson is Sherlock Holmes' sidekick. He writes their stories down. And that's kind of the idea behind the books, is it's John's written telling of the story. And so in a lot of modern adaptations, they make him like a writer or a blogger or something like that. In BBC Sherlock, he's actually a doctor who blogs as part of his therapeutic recovery from being in the war and stuff. And so they actually had his blog, and they'd have like all of the characters interacting on these things. It was really fun, and it doesn't exist as far as I'm aware anymore. At least I'm able to find it. And that's kind of like, that's one of the things I always point out, is like, we used to do fun, dumb things like that. Like, there was actually just a blog with fake characters, or you could go find someone's fan site for, owls or things like that. And it kind of feels like, and I'm totally guilty of this too, it kind of feels like we've all gotten in the habit of going to like the same 3 sites / apps and just recycling content, and it kind of breaks my heart. Like, I'm very, very guilty of being like, okay, I'm on Instagram. Oh, I've seen a Reddit post on Instagram, so I'll go hang out on Reddit for a little while. Oh, I've seen a tweet on Reddit, so now I'm gonna go hang out on Twitter for a minute, and then I see, an Instagram post, and I'm back, right? Like that kind of thing. And it's like, man, do you remember when you used to end up on weird sites? Heck, I remember when I found Reddit as a teenager, and I was like, oh, this is a weird site, this is cool. But it was one of many, and it doesn't feel like, everything on the internet feels curated. And I think it's very much indicative of, like, right now we're going through a phase of society where everything has to, like, mean something, and I hate that. I hate that so much. Like, why can't you do dumb things just for sake of doing dumb things? Does anyone else feel that way? Like, I have a couple of creative hobbies, like I like photography and stuff. And the amount of times people have been like, so when are you going to sell your photos? And I tried, and I hated it. I hated it so much. Like, the actual fair was fun, and like the feedback was great. But the actual, like, sitting there and being like, buy my stuff, hated it, won't do it again. Right? If I end up wanting to show my photography to anyone, maybe I'll see, like, if they'll do like a gallery wall in a restaurant or something. I don't know. But anyways, point being, like, but that people don't, like, there's been so many people who are like, well, what are you going to do with those photos? I'm going to enjoy them. Eventually, they might end up as art on my wall, but I'm going to enjoy them. Well, but what's the point of them then? Just that I had fun, right? We're very much as a society into this idea of everything has to do something for you. It has to be productive, and I hate it. I don't want to be a productive person. I'd like to be a gremlin. I'd like to be a gremlin who just sits and does art. Sorry about the clicking. My arm just tried to spin on my chair as I was readjusting. But anyways, I digress. I like the parents' bedroom. Going back to the build for a minute, try to get back on track. It's very blue, but I kind of liked it. I was like, I was trying to do very calming, and it came out, I think, okay. It is very blue, I fully admit that, but I think it worked out okay. The bathrooms, there is not a normal shaped bathroom in this house. Maybe the grandmother's bathroom is kind of normal, like those downstairs ones. This is going to be a lot of flicking back and forth. I did all of the bathrooms the same way. I kind of hated the bathrooms anyway. Like, I like the way they're designed, but the shapes of the upstairs bathrooms, especially the kids' ones make sense when you realize there's 5 kids. But this bathroom is huge. This bathroom could be a bedroom, but I couldn't figure out where to stick another bathroom if that was a bedroom, if that makes sense. And so I ended up making a bathroom that was completely separated so that you could, you could have a child showering and a child using the bathroom and a child brushing their teeth, and no one would be invading each other's space. So I think that bathroom will work okay for this size family, but there are 3.5 bathrooms in this house and 8 Sims, so it's going to be a struggle no matter what. Also, there's a lot of cabinet space, and I did not want to clutter up the bathrooms at this point, especially because I had recluttered everything so many times, you guys. And so your Sims will absolutely wash their dishes up here, and it will be very annoying. It will be incredibly annoying. But I liked the kind of open floor plan of the upstairs. This house was kind of inspired in parts by a friend's house when I was younger. I know that happens a lot. A lot of people, like, I say that a lot. A lot of my friends' houses were very inspiring. I think it's because growing up, I grew up in a very diverse area, Seattle and the Pacific Northwest, and so there was like a lot of really interesting houses. And for some reason, I had a weird amount of friends with dads who were builders who had built their houses, so it was all weird. Not weird in a bad way, but like, you know, they could pick what they wanted, so it's not like a traditional cookie cutter floor plan. In fact, heck, I say that my grandpa built my mom and dad's house that we grew up in, right? So yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of like really interesting, unique little things. But I think some of the open floor plan came from a friend's house who had like the 2-story foyer, and then sort of like these weird little alcoves almost. It was very funky because like the actual living room was like a little sunken alcove, and then like the kitchen was big and in the back, and there was like another little like living space. It was a very interesting little house. I wonder if I could recreate it in The Sims. I feel like probably not. The problem is like when I remember it was early 2000s, and it was that very sort of oversized, chunky vibe that everything had. That's another thing I miss. I know the 2000s are coming back fashion-wise. Don't mind this. I was trying to make like a fancy bed and it didn't work and I gave up. I did end up doing like a little like hanging thing here that I thought was kind of cute because I wanted it to look super plush and cute. On the side of the room, I really wanted the girls to be polar opposites so that the room kind of like didn't match, but like you could tell they were trying to get along and make it work. But anyways, what I was saying. Oh, the early 2000s vibe. Like, I know it's coming back in fashion a little bit. I want the furniture to come back. I want the giant oversized check patterns, the overstuffed, like, just giant furniture, the warm beiges, and, like the harvest colors, you know, kind of thing. Like, I dug that. That was my vibe. Not the red kitchens, though. The red kitchens do not need to come back. Holy cow, I do not need to see any more crimson red kitchens. That, I don't know if that was a Pacific Northwest thing, or if that was a universal thing, but the amount of crimson red kitchens with live, laugh, love kind of sayings across, like, the top bit. No, thank you. No, thank you. But I miss beige. Well, gray is very in right now, and I'm not a gray person. We've established. I miss beige. I like beige a lot. But particularly, I miss the oversized furniture. I bumped my chair again. I apologize for the clicking noises. Yeah, this is the teenage girls' room. Both girls. This family is gonna be really fun for you to meet because I started working with them and I didn't really change the bride types or anything. I hit randomize like basically 8 times, and then immediately had to quit the game. And I know you can go back in and do like a full cast edit, but I was like, you know, it would be really interesting if I just went back in and edited them in cast, but I didn't do a full, like, I was just stuck with whatever body, face, hair, pretty much they got, right? I did change the hair, some of the hairs on, I think it was the boys, before I had to save and quit really suddenly, and so, like, some of them are curated, but some of them aren't, and so that was really interesting because it was really fun to try to dress them and get them, like, all put together in the way that I wanted them to be, because I didn't get to pick their body types early, you know? It was basically a random sim challenge, but accidentally, which was actually quite fun, and I might do that more often. This room is weird. So in my head, it was a sewing room, and then it occurred to me that's not really a thing Sims do. I had wanted, like, mom's craft space, like a she shed, but in the house kind of thing, and so I ended up making it a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a, fashion designer's space. It slowly morphs into that, and I was like, okay, well, maybe the mom's a fashion designer, she's into fashion. And I think I ended up making her sim that way. This, basically, the goal of this room was either it could be another bedroom if you wanted it to be, as the kids get older, which so could Dad's den if it needed to be. But I wanted, like, if your other sim worked from home, for it to be like a craft space or another office or a flex space, or if your sim is a baker, it could be the cupcake room. That was kind of the idea behind it, is I wanted like in my house, I'm really bad at not putting a space for hobbies or career things, you know, like sometimes they're like, what is one of them? I know in the business career, I think it is, you have to write like 3 papers, so you have to have a laptop. So I wanted this room to be like that kind of flex space where it's like, if suddenly your sim needs a piano for some reason, put it in there. A piano would have been really good in this space, actually. Not this room, but in this house. Huh. I'll keep that in mind for the reno. Eventually we're going to do a reno, let's be real here. But I ended up making it a fashion designer space. Just because I wanted to pick something that I don't usually put in houses. So I like the way it turns out, and I think that would be a really fun, like, career for the mom to have. Oh yeah, you should see a cut here in a second. You'll notice every time I paint, more of my clutter goes away. What is that about? Who knows? So I don't know how much I end up cutting out, because I had to, like, and the thing too is when that glitch starts happening, I have to completely shut down the computer. If I just close the game, reopen the game, even if I force close the game, reopen the game, still have that glitch. Gotta completely shut down the computer for some reason. I don't know what sort of long-running nonsense script that is, but it's a problem. It drives me nuts. Side note, so you guys won't see this video for a while. I know I say that almost every video, but I try to, like, well, I've explained myself a bunch of times. I'm not going to go through it all again. But basically, yeah, I try to, like, lump voiceovers and stuff together because I don't always have time to do the voiceovers. Anyways, you guys probably won't see this till, I think you're probably going to see this in April or May. But I'm sitting here and it is March 19th, which means a couple of days ago, the Sims neighborhood stuff, the, like, second set of the neighborhood progression came out. Guys, I'm so excited. I am literally... like, I almost put off doing voiceovers today just so I could go play with the new neighborhood stuff. I am so jazzed. I decided not to because I didn't want to not have videos to go up. I tried to give myself a buffer because multiple times, in fact, this week, which again, you are well far in the future for me, hello. But I am, the week in which I am working on, I got dangerously close to having a video to put up this week because I had a bunch of stuff in progress, but nothing finished. Because I try to set aside time to build every day because that's my favorite part, but I usually do, like, the editing and stuff on the weekends, which is probably not my smartest choice. But like I said, I'm one of those lucky people who likes their full-time job and I'm not willing to give it all up, you know, to try to do YouTube full-time or anything like that. I don't think I have the fortitude to do something like that. But so I have to work around my job and work around my other obligations and stuff. So I usually do my editing and voiceovers and things on the weekend, and I got a little behind. I got a little behind and got dangerously close to not having a video to put up this week, but we got there in the end. And I'm actually, like, there's a lot of cast videos coming up because I finally sat down and made a lot of the family. I like making families, but I tend to not worry about it as much until I have an idea for the family. There was a bunny. I saw the bunny and got all excited because we're in Henford and Bagley. And so I tend not to do the families as much until I have an idea. And then I had, like, a rash of ideas all of a sudden for families. And so there's a lot of cast videos coming up. I also think, I finally got the gallery to, like, it's loading for me semi-consistently. I'm going to knock on wood. Because who knows if it still will, which means now I have to sit down and go through my videos and organize everything and actually get the stuff that I've put on YouTube up on the gallery, because I would like you guys to actually be able to play with these things and not have to just recreate them from the videos. In saying that, I do know that console players do not get the gallery, which is dumb. And so what I would also like to do, and this is a long ways off, so if this idea excites you, please don't get too excited yet, because I'm still working out the minutiae of it, but I made a WordPress blog when I first started this channel with the intention of every time something went up on the gallery, it also got a blog post, so that the layout photos and, like, the detail photos and stuff were very easily reachable. Like, you could just go to the page and have it open and scroll back and forth was the idea. And then it ended up not quite working out that way, and I think the blog is probably just going to become more or less not, like, I keep calling it a blog because it's a WordPress site, but it's just going to be a companion site to the channel, so it's going to have just anything that any video that needs a companion thing on there. That's the plan. But that is probably many months off because I actually have to have time to sit down and figure out how I want to do that in a way that's sustainable. And since I don't even have time to figure out how it's going to be sustainable, I don't know if it's going to be sustainable right now. Apologies as well if you can hear the dog crying in the background. Watson he's out in the other room and my door is closed. And he's out in the other room because he was very busy being a dog, which I'm very proud of him for. He likes to think he's a people. But he's just realized my door is closed, and that is very offensive to his little sensibilities, so he's screaming outside my door. He's fine. He's well loved. There's a person out there to take care of him. He's got food. He's got water. He's got a blanket. He's got like 8 beds out there. He's fine. It's warm. And like I said, there's a person trying to get his attention and take care of him, but he's screaming outside the door. So we're working on the outside now. I really like the way the outside came out. There's like a few main areas. There's like the little picnicky area that we did first, and then we did this little area, which is a little gardeny area with a fancy greenhouse and a little chicken coop. I like the idea of backyard chickens, and then there's this little play area for the kiddos, some trees and stuff. I didn't put anything really behind a fence, and there's not really there's a lot of just yard space, because as a kid, that was my favorite thing to do, was just go out and be in the yard space, and so there's quite a bit of yard space, and the gardens are pretty overgrown because I still have, I think it was Sims 2 flashbacks, when you had to actually take care of the gardens. Landscaping wasn't static. I'm actually very grateful landscaping is static in this game and gardening is a separate attribute, because I could not make my houses cute in The Sims 2 at all, period. If you have to actually deal with the landscaping, I'm a low maintenance landscaping kind of person. In real life too, we were talking about, they're called, so we've always called them arborvitae. That's not really how they're spelled, but I don't really know how they say it. I feel like that's probably a pretty redneck way to say it, but they're basically big tall bushes in my real life. And in fact, this morning we were talking about the fact that we're gonna have to take probably 3 weekends and go actually trim them because my bush guy quit. We have an ongoing problem with that around here, of people saying, yes, I will work for you for a season and I will take care of your landscaping, which sounds very bougie. It's just because the people before us, who owned this house before us, they put a lot of landscaping in, but they didn't pay attention to a lot of how much of it was very high maintenance stuff. And I don't want to be that person who just takes out and kills a bunch of bushes, but I also have no idea how to take care of it. So for a while I had this really nice guy taking care of it, and he quit, and then I tried to hire his brother and that didn't work, and then I tried to hire this other guy and he took the money and ran, which was dumb. And now I keep trying to find someone to take care of it and nobody wants to do it. So I'm gonna have to do it myself, which is fine, but I officially cannot see over the bushes, and I need to be able to see over the bushes to see the farm, so I gotta go out and chop on them. All this to say, I like low maintenance landscaping, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that in my real life, because I do not have low maintenance landscaping in my real life. But I really like this little outdoor space. I've been using those chairs a lot. They're really cute. They're good for indoor, outdoor, and honestly, I've used them indoors before as well, but I used them as outdoor furniture this time. I had to stop and make sure they weren't the ones I used upstairs. I think the ones upstairs are supposed to be outdoor furniture as well, but it's cute and it works inside, and I don't mind it. It kind of goes into my sensibilities of a couch should look comfy, because these don't particularly look comfy, but The Sims doesn't do that. Sims does not do comfy furniture. And I was just trying to make the outside look like a place where you could hang out and play and actually do stuff. And I think we got there in the end, and it is a big garden, but if she's a stay-at-home mom, maybe she has time to garden, I don't know, or maybe the kids help her a lot, maybe it's a family ordeal, I do not know, but it is a pretty big garden, but I see them spending a lot of time outside. I have gotten my money's worth out of those lanterns about 100 times over. I love those lanterns. I want those in real life to put on my real life porch. They're so cute. But yeah, honestly, it's kind of your standard little outdoor space. This was me fussing with the railings and stuff. It's a very stark house. It's a very different style than I usually do, but I do maintain that I like the way it came out. It took a little while to get there. It definitely took a little while to get there, but I like the way it came out. I think pretty happy with it. And the landscaping looks pretty overgrown, but I've officially decided my style. I'm just a ground cover kind of person. I've also got my money's worth 100 times over out of that big fluffy leafy plant. I think it's from Island Living? I almost said Island Adventures. Conflating both Jungle Adventures and Island Living, but I believe it's Island Living. I've got a lot of use out of that pack. I love Island Living. I play on the islands actually a decent amount in my personal playthroughs. Mostly because I play a lot of Sims in the wintertime and I'm cold and want to be on a beach somewhere where it's warm. So it is starting to be springtime though here, and so it is warmer and I'm spending more time outside. In fact, just came in from a pretty good schooling session with Ro and Nellie, who are 2 horses that live on my property. And we had a lot of fun. There was a little bit of a bucking issue, but I think it's maybe a stiff sore back and not an I'm mad issue, so that's fine. We'll work it out. We'll have the chiropractor out and stuff. But yeah, so it's a good time. I also have got my money's worth out of these lanterns actually, but I wanted it to not be a completely, I ended up getting rid of those. Anyways, I wanted it to be bright enough out here that you could use it in the evenings as well, and I was trying to make those work. I can't remember now because it's been a minute since I finished this. I can't remember if I made those work. I think I ended up making them work there. Yeah, made it look like, I tried to make it look like they were hanging from the rafters. I wish they had given us that item as a floor item like it is, but without the pole. That'd have been nice, because then you could shrink it and make it work a lot better. So here's all the screenshots. I think I'm going to leave you here because I've been talking for a long time and I can start to hear the raspiness of my own voice. So I'll let you hang out with the screenshots. It's screenshots from the first video and the second video so you can get the whole look through. I mentioned this in the last video, but a lot of my landscaping did end up poking through. That will be fixed before it goes up on the gallery, and the clutter is probably going to look different because when I went to hop in to take the screenshots, it was all gone again, unfortunately. So that will also probably be a little bit different in the gallery build, but I hope you enjoyed this build. I really did. It was about a month's worth of work on and off. I think it turned out really, really cool. So I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will talk to y'all very, very soon.